In 2023, Google revealed that people are searching "I am tired" at a rate higher than any other point in human history. Let me tell you why. See, every day when you wake up, you have an energy bank account. Throughout the day, you make withdrawals and deposits of that energy. Every time you eat garbage food, you have to give up some of that energy. Every time you hang out with those friends, the ones who are really energy vampires, you have to pay the price in energy. See, the problem with most people is just like money management, they have terrible energy management. So the majority of us live an energy poor life. Low sex drive, brain fog, bags under the eyes, tired during the day. Does this sound like you or someone you know? See, the modern world is normalizing being tired, but we are not supposed to feel that way. This new normal is something we should not accept. And so I searched the internet to try to find a video that could provide a comprehensive plan to help get a person's energy back on track. I couldn't find it, so I made it. This is that video on how to become energy rich. Now, what is more important than energy? The first thing people tell me is money. Now, if you had all the money in the world but no energy, you wouldn't be able to enjoy it. Next, people say time is more important than energy. I mean, what's more valuable than time? Well, you could have all the time in the world, but if you don't have the energy to utilize and enjoy that time, it's like you never had it at all. The truth is, we are not even human. We are energy, and I can prove it. Say you had a friend named Jim, and Jim just died on the operating table. The doctor says, time of death, 12:15. But Jim's body is still there. His race, his gender, all of that. In fact, the brain is still firing electrical signals hours after death, but Jim died. Because we both know that deep down, Jim was not his body. Jim was the life force energy that animated his body. See, this is why energy management is so important, because it's not about energy management at all. It's about life management. When we look out in the world at the people with the most energy, we arrive at two members in our society: athletes and children. In the Tao Te Ching, it says, a newborn child, its bones are soft, its muscles are weak, but its grip is powerful. So intense is its vital power, it can scream its head off all day, yet it never becomes hoarse. So complete is its harmony. You see, a child has boundless energy, and we'll get into why and how we can replicate that later. Now let's look at an athlete. An athlete is someone who not just uses, but has mastered their energy for a living. If you want to be energy rich, then you must start looking at yourself as an athlete. A busy mom is an athlete. Taking kids to and from soccer games, picking up groceries. An executive is an athlete, running from meeting to meeting, selling to customers, balancing ideas and budgets. A student is an athlete. See, we are all different kinds of athletes, but we are athletes. And so we need to train like athletes, eat like athletes, and sleep like athletes if we want to become energy rich. And by the end of this video, you will know the best energy practices used by Olympic athletes so that you can play at the highest level in your field. You will have more energy than you ever had, and people will come up to you asking you, what is your secret? Without further ado, let's jump into it. How to become energy rich. The first thing we need to understand is we are electric. You ever wonder why a defibrillator works? Really, have you ever thought about this? How crazy is this device? It shoots electricity into a dead body to bring it back to life. Do you know what those lines on an EKG are? Like what does it represent? It represents your mitochondria. You remember from school, we all learned about mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. It's probably the only thing we remember from school. But unfortunately, like many things in school, we didn't connect the dots and realize how important it was to our actual real lives. They supply ATP, or energy, to the heart, and we see that energy expressed on an EKG machine. So if your mitochondria stops working, well, we know what happens. game over. So how do we supercharge our mitochondria? Well, the first thing we need to do is avoid what's draining it. So let's talk about the 10 energy vampires that are killing your energy and making you tired. The people you are around is the single most important factor to how your life turns out. You ever caught an STD from a person? I know, we're all ashamed, but listen to this. Scientists have recently discovered that you can catch an ETD from someone. This is brand new. See, an ETD can be more dangerous and last longer than an STD, especially if you don't get checked. You catch the ETD, or energy transmitted disease, from those toxic people. The people who you know, after you spend time with them, you just don't feel good. They snatch your energy like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. Stay away from these people. Hang out with rainbows, not drainbows. It is crucial that you get quality, good energy people in your life. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is also contagious. Neuroscientist Dr. Tara Stewart says that stress can literally leak through the skin and transmit to other people you're around. I mean, you ever thought about yawning? Like why when someone else yawns, you yawn? It's because our brains are connected by mirror neurons. Monkey see, monkey do, right? If you're around somebody exhibiting bad behavior and having poor energy, you will not just pick up on that, it will start to show up in your own life. Energy is very real. In our society, we call it good vibes and bad vibes. So get those energy drainers out of your life. It's true what they say. Bees evolved to live in a hive, and humans evolved to live in a tribe. So you have to be wise with who you allow in your tribe so you can thrive. The next energy vampire is the chair. You are literally low energy because you are sitting all day. You remember the movie WALL-E? It wasn't a movie. It was a documentary. See, our culture is screwed up, right? We spend the first 12 months of our children's lives teaching them how to walk and talk, and then the next 12 years telling them to sit down and shut up. Studies show that sitting for more than 3 hours a day can cut 2 years off of your life expectancy, even if you exercise regularly. Imagine making it to heaven and you start talking to the people there and they're like, hey, what are you here for? Somebody says, oh man, I had a heart attack. Hey, how about you? Oh man, car accident. It was bad. How about you? Oh, well, the chair got me. They're like, what? Yep, a terminal disease. I sat in the terminal at my office for too long and it killed me. Scientists say that sitting is the new smoking. The chair is the new cigarette, but actually sitting is much worse. According to one study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, they found that those who sit, for example, just watching TV for an hour, reduce their lifespan by 22 minutes. Whereas smokers shorten their lifespan by 11 minutes on average per cigarette. Now, what is the solution? Standing. A 2015 study revealed just getting up from a chair every hour for a mere 2 minutes of light activity was associated with a 33% less risk of dying prematurely of any cause. Literally just standing for 3 hours a day instead of sitting has the equivalent calorie consumption benefit as, get this, as running 10 marathons a year. That's right. So go get you a standing desk. I recommend also an anti-fatigue mat that you can stand on. And when you do, shift your position every so often. Place your foot on something like books or a small stool to increase circulation and take pressure off your lower back. Walking can be even better. Studies show that walking vastly increases blood flow, memory, and response times, especially when compared to sitting. It was German philosopher and scholar Friedrich Nietzsche who said, all truly great ideas are created while walking. The next energy vampire is food. You ever gone into the grocery store and walked into the health food section? I always thought, if that's the health food section, then what the heck is everything else? The sick food section? I mean, it sounds funny, but they do put the truth right in our faces, right? Hidden in plain sight. If you want to live a vibrant, electric life, how do you plan to extract real energy from this? A lot of this stuff isn't even food. It's a food-like product. Remember this. fast food equals short life. I mean, this is what the world gives us, and we wonder why a child born in the year 2000 will have a 1 in 3 chance to be diagnosed with diabetes. They will be the first generation to live shorter lives than their parents. We have a culture where we reward kids for good performance with candy. I mean, how crazy is that? Sugar. What does that do? Sugar creates unfocused, scattered thinking. Guys, you have to start looking at food as either energy giving or energy taking, as either information or inflammation. The word diet comes from the Greek word dieta, meaning way of life. Most diets in today's world are not a way of life, they are a quick fix. And it's no wonder why we call them crash diets, because most people end up a total wreck during and after them. Here are some of the many diets out right now. We have all these diets, yet somehow we're getting sicker and more unhealthy. Something ain't working, right? All of these smart doctors, nutritionists writing all of these books. My question is, are they really smart? Or are they trying to make a quick buck? I'll let you be the judge of that. This is why I personally look at cultures that actually have healthy people in it. Places called blue zones where people live the longest, healthiest, happiest lives on earth. And I'm gonna simplify it for you. What do? What makes them so healthy and happy and live until they're 100 and 120? Well, they eat real foods. My favorite acronym to remember the healthiest foods on the planet is G-bombs, plus wild caught fish. What are G-bombs? Dark leafy greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, seeds. That's it. Plus the wild caught fish. Salmon, sardines. The G-bomb diet is so good. It's full of prebiotic and probiotic foods that will keep your brain sharp and your gut healthy. Scientists have started to call it the second brain. Your microbiome in your gut holds 80% of your immune system. When people today say, oh, I'm depressed, I have low serotonin. Well, did you know that 95% of the serotonin in your body is not made in the brain, but in the gut? Did you know that we have more bacteria cells in our body than human cells? See, so you ain't white, you ain't black, you're bacteria. I mean, think of your body like this. Your body is a hotel. The guests are the bacteria. The good bacteria are like those, the great model tenants in a hotel building. They pay their bills on time. They're polite. They keep the place tidy and they clean up. The bad bacteria, well, they pee in the elevator. They steal from other tenants. They graffiti the wall. They start fights and set things on fire. That's inflammation. So if we want a healthy body, we got to eat real foods with ingredients we can pronounce. We must feed the good bacteria and starve the bad. Now let's talk quickly about how much to eat, because many people feel tired and sluggish after they eat. And it's because one of two reasons, right? It could be because of a blood sugar spike, or you're eating a heavy meal and your body's working overtime to digest it. The first thing you need to do is get rid of the clean your plate mentality. Adopt the secret that they use in Okinawa, which is why they live so long. It's called harahachibu, or only eat until 80% full. Now, as far as the blood sugar spike, which if you don't know is basically what happens when you eat food, some carbs, and they give you energy, but later the energy drops rapidly. Well, if you eat G-bombs, you shouldn't be seeing that anymore. And here's another hack to pretty much guarantee you'll never see it. Drink apple cider vinegar diluted with water before you eat, and go for a 10-minute walk after you eat. Do this before you eat your meals, especially before you eat those sugary desserts, and you will not have a big blood sugar spike. It's an incredible hack. These two small things will make a huge difference in your health and energy levels. By the way, quick plug, if you want to get my entire plan, including the menu, then you gotta join my 21-day Superhuman Focus Detox. I put the link in the description below. Now, what you eat is important, but it's also important what you don't eat, which brings me to fasting. I got a question for you. Which will take up more energy in your life? Is it A, exercise, B, digestion? Is it C, sex, or is it D, your job or career? The answer is B, digestion. You will use more energy digesting food in your lifetime than just about anything else you do. We literally digest about 70 tons of food in our lives. Put that in perspective, that's 12 fully grown elephants. So if energy is being used to digest these huge, heavy meals, that's taking energy away that you could be using to enjoy life and to build a life that is worth living. And so that's why I mentioned fasting. Fasting is one of the best things you can do for your lifespan and for your mitochondria. Fasting gets rid of precancerous cells through autophagy. It reduces oxidative stress and inflammation. It increases brain function. Now, healthy people with no underlying medical conditions and not taking diabetes medication can really benefit from fasting. Now, I have practiced fasting for over a decade, and I've felt tremendous benefits in my life. But if you've never done it before, here's my advice. Ease into it. One way to ease into it is by only eating fruit before 12 noon. Do this for a few weeks or a few months, and then you can get into trying to eat your food within that 8-hour window. Fasting is a great tool. Now, is it a miracle? It has some miracle properties. Does it work for everyone? No. Is it necessary for everyone? No. Eating healthy food split up throughout the day is just fine as well, right? But fasting is indeed a powerful tool that can make a big difference. Not to mention, you can save 15% of your yearly food bill when you switch to not Geico, but a 24-hour fast once a week. Now, let's quickly talk about water, right? Scientists say our bodies are between 70 and 90% water. When I did my DNA test, it told me that I was 67% West African. So technically, I'm more water than black. That's a joke. Here's another. Somebody said we're so much water, we are 4 inches from drowning at all times. See, one energy vampire is lack of water. One survey showed that 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. 75%. If you're just 2% dehydrated, you start to have trouble focusing your attention. Now, how do you know you're dehydrated? Well, here are 3 signs. Number 1, your lips are dry. Number 2, yellow pee. If it's a dark tea color, you're severely dehydrated. And 3, lastly, you're thirsty. Yes, once you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. The thing is, all water is not created equally. Plain water really doesn't hydrate you. You need minerals in that water. Spring water has great minerals. But if you want to supercharge your hydration, then do what Tom Brady has called his secret to health. After reading the book, The TB12 Method, I found out that Tom Brady puts electrolytes in all the water he drinks.
Drinking lots of water is one of the simplest keys to success. Electrolytes amplify hydration by letting your body fully absorb the water you drink and also help replenish the minerals your body loses when you're working out.
Now, are electrolytes the secret to him playing at a high level at such an old age? No, but it definitely helped. Now, what are electrolytes? Well, the key ones are magnesium, potassium, sodium. And let's start with magnesium. Millions of people are deficient in this mineral. Almost 80% of us. You probably are too. And see, magnesium is like oil to our car. Too much stress literally burns it out of your body. Therefore, if you can get more of it, you can literally reverse the effects of stress in your brain. I mean, they don't call it nature's Prozac for nothing. It can cure headaches. It activates over 300 important enzymes in your body. Now, it can be hard to get adequate amounts in food due to soil depletion and farming practices. So me personally, I try to eat cacao nibs in my smoothies, and I also supplement a magnesium. Now, the magnesium I take is called magnesium threonate. It passes the blood-brain barrier, and it has been a total game changer for me. I take it before bed. Now, the other electrolytes, potassium and sodium, are vital as well. See, this is why I recommend putting a dash of Himalayan or Celtic sea salt in your lemon water in the morning. If you're sodium sensitive like I am, use very little and focus instead on potassium citrate. Coconut water and juicing cucumbers is also a great source of healthy electrolytes. My advice is get you some trace minerals or a filler-free electrolyte mix for ease. You can just throw it into your water. Oh, and beware of alcohol, coffee, and soda, because if you drink these, you will have to drink more water because they can and will dehydrate you. When it comes to how much water you drink, well, that depends on your activity level and how much you sweat. But try to get 0.5 to 1 ounce per every pound you weigh. So if you're 156 pounds, get between 78 and 156 ounces of water each day. Do like me. I carry around this bright water bottle. It keeps me honest, right? So I can see it. Adding mint in your water can also add a nice taste and a pep of energy. Now, what about supplements for superhuman energy? Well, first of all, let me say this. You can't out-supplement a bad diet, right? Look at that word supplement. It's supplemental, right? In addition, right? There's no magic pill, kinda. There's this old saying, how do you know unless you look? Here's some facts. People suffering from depression also often suffer from low levels of vitamin B6 and iron. Did you know that more than 90% of people diagnosed with depression have also depleted plasma zinc levels? So with that being said, here's some low-hanging fruits before I get into the supercharging supplements. Number 1, B vitamins. Deficiency in B vitamins can lead to fatigue and low energy levels. Number 2, vitamin D and K2. 3, good old magnesium. And 4, zinc. I take all of these supplements every day to make sure my levels are on point. Now, if you do want to supercharge your energy, take it to another level, consider my boundless energy stack. Now, caution. Now, all of these are safe. However, you have to check with your physician before taking it, because if you're on medications already, there may be contraindications. So check with your physician. Now, here's what I take that has had a big impact on me. Number 1, CoQ10. CoQ10 is a vital antioxidant enzyme that is produced in every cell of your body. Taking it with food enhances its effectiveness, and it will contribute significantly to your overall well-being. Number 2, Shilajit. It's a resin-like tar from the Himalayas. Don't take it in a powder or capsule. It's got to be the tar. It's known for its anti-inflammatory properties, mood enhancement, fertility benefits, and is particularly known for boosting energy. And get this, it's referred to as the destroyer of weakness. Take Shilajit with CoQ10 and you will have a powerful synergistic effect. Number 3, tyrosine. Tyrosine is an amino acid that boosts alertness and mental energy. It plays a key role in producing norepinephrine, leading to increased attentiveness. Now, I took this for the first time a few years ago, and I felt incredible. I can't explain it other than I felt like I was more of me. Number 4, rhodiola. Rhodiola is effective in obliterating stress. This supplement enhances energy, cognition, and mental stamina. I take it before I work out, but you can take it any time of the day, probably not before sleep. But it aids in improving concentration, calculation speed, perception, and it also can reduce depressive symptoms. Now, the next supplement is Siberian ginseng. This is a potent adaptogen that shields against stress and boosts nervous system function. It enhances attentiveness and energy levels in a more balanced way compared to the stimulating effects of coffee. Number 6, bacopa. Bacopa is a revered Indian herb. It is noted for improving concentration, memory, and focus, making it a valuable supplement for mental clarity. I call it the natural limitless pill. Now, lastly, I can't forget to mention nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that increases energy in our bodies. This is why me and a bunch of Olympic athletes take beetroot juice an hour before working out or endurance racing. It increases performance like crazy, and it's so healthy for you. The next energy vampire is lack of purpose. Look at a river versus a pond. A pond is stagnant, right? No oxygen. It's a breeding ground for parasites. A river is flowing, it's vibrant. Its energy is moving forward, right? Constantly circulating. Well, get this. The human body is 70 to 90% water. And if you're feeling stagnant in your life, it's probably because your energy is like that of the pond. You're not in flow. You're not moving forward. You're not circulating. And see, the law of nature is that a person is like a bicycle. See, a bike maintains its poise and equilibrium as long as it's going forward. See, like that bike, we need to be constantly progressing in life, moving forward. See, so many people are low on energy, not because of what they're eating, but because of what's eating them. We talk about celebrities all the time, right? Selling their soul. So-and-so sold his soul. But if you think about it, the average person has kind of sold their soul every day if they get up and go to a job they hate, a job that's sucking the soul out of them. One study showed that 85% of people are going to a job they don't like. It's draining you every day because you know you're missing part of your purpose. A job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. So the question you have to ask yourself constantly is, are you working to live or living to work? I guarantee you, if you're living to work, you will live a life climbing a ladder. And if you get to the top, you will realize, man, it was leaning against the wrong wall. They say never become too good at something you hate, because they will make you do it for the rest of your life. So find your why, right? Having a why is one of the biggest energy hacks in the world. In Japan, they call it your Ikigai, right? The reason you get out of the bed. One of my favorite books is Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. See, you may think you have it bad, but Viktor Frankl, he survived concentration camps. His wife, his father, his mother, his daughter were all killed. But he said the people who survived weren't the strongest. They were the ones who put meaning for what was going on. The ones who said, when I get out of here, I'm going to tell my story, or I'm going to help somebody else. They created a why. And as Nietzsche once said, a man or woman with a strong enough why can overcome any how. When you find your why, you will find your energy. The next energy vampire I will talk about it's everywhere. It was the first creation of God, according to the Hebrew Bible. Any guesses? It's light. See, light is so important to mankind that ancient cultures such as the Egyptians, they worship the sun for its life-giving properties. People don't realize this, but light is a nutrient. It can either drain you or it can energize you, depending on the quality of that light. Now, the light from the sun has been with us for millions of years, right? It gives us vitamin D3 at a correct balance. It activates thousands of health properties in our bodies. Of course, too much can drain us and damage our DNA. Now, all light is not created equally. Unfortunately, the light in our office spaces and homes can often have unnatural spectrums and can do us damage. Some scientists have started calling it junk light. And just like junk food, junk light gets into our cells, it drains us of energy, and it can cause inflammation. LED can emit a lot of blue light and create what's called flicker stress. Fluorescent lights should also be avoided if possible. Now, the old school incandescent lights, right, they have the full spectrum of the sun. Unfortunately, governments around the world have banned it because of its low energy efficiency. Now, look, you should be getting the best light you possibly can, which is natural sunlight. Now, LED light won't kill you. Don't stress out, but try to find flicker-free, low color temperature light bulbs. The key here is all about optimizing your circadian rhythm. You do this by making sure the first thing you do in the morning, within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up, you should allow natural sunlight to penetrate your eyes. Of course, not looking directly at the sun, but by doing this, you actually pretty much guarantee great sleep that night. Now, I want to warn you as well, don't look at your phone in the morning, right? The blue light from the phone, that is a no-no. That's artificial light. You need to be getting natural light first thing in the morning. You can also optimize your circadian rhythm by avoiding bright lights between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. Blue light blockers are a great tool in the modern world. Overall, though, my rule is to try to be outside as much as you are inside. Not only do you get the benefit of the light, but also the fresh air. Now, the next energy vampire is lack of sleep. This is an easy one. You probably guessed this was on the list. But here's the thing. Let me show you how important it is. If you forget everything else I said and just focused on quality sleep, you will be winning. See, the bed is the human charging station. So many experts and athletes have talked about sleep and it's important. I won't repeat what they've said, but I'll summarize it. I really do think it comes down to this. The shorter you sleep, the shorter your life. And when I say life, I don't just mean lifespan. I mean health span. Margaret Thatcher, Prime Minister of the UK, famously slept 4 hours a night. I'm sure you've heard people even today doing the same thing. But did you know after she was out of office, she suffered from severe cognitive impairment and stress-related challenges at the end of her life? Former President Bill Clinton only slept 5 hours a night. Well, he ended up having a quadruple bypass. And today, Bill Clinton gives speeches on the importance of sleep. Now, here are my 8 bedroom rules. I call them my cave rules. Number 1, do not do anything other than sleep in your bedroom. And of course, that other thing that I won't say, I don't know if it's YouTube friendly. Number 2, temperature. Your bedroom temperature should be between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit for optimum sleep. Number 3, get your TV out of your bedroom. Number 4, never sleep with your phone in your room. If you do, make sure it's off, not charging, and far away from your bed. Number 5, use 100% blackout curtains. Do not allow any light to enter your room. You gotta be ruthless about this. It must be black, dark as night, right? You have photoreceptors on your skin, and if light touches your skin, it can actually disturb your sleep. Number 6, install dimmer switches. Number 7, block out all of the junk light LEDs in your house. The blue light on the electrical equipment, cover it with black tape. It can disturb your sleep. And number 8, invest in a good mattress, right? We spend 1/3 of our lives asleep. Make sure you're comfortable there and flip that mattress over every 6 months. Now, before I finish the sleep section, I want to say this. Stop using melatonin supplements. In the 1960s, melatonin was known as the anti-gonad hormone. Human equivalent doses of 1 to 2 milligrams were shown to reduce sex organs in rats and impair their fertility. Now, of course, rats aren't people, but to assume there's no effect is crazy. But that's not all. When the purity of melatonin supplements on the market was tested, 2/3 of the melatonin products from health food stores contained unidentified impurities. Now, instead of melatonin supplements, try pistachios. Did you know only 2 pistachios can give you a physiological dose of melatonin? A handful of them is like taking a high dose melatonin supplement. The next energy vampire is seriousness. You know those people who walk around like they just lost their best friend? No, it's not good. Your seriousness is killing you. The average child laughs 400 times a day. How many times do you think the average adult laughs? Is it A, 100, B, 50, C, 25 times, or D, 15 times? It's D, 15. That's the average. Many people are laughing way less than that. But if that's the average, then where did the other 385 laughs go? See, this is why George Bernard Shaw said, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Every animal in nature continues to play even in adulthood, except us smart humans. Neuroscientist at University of Lethbridge, Sergio Pellis, says that there's a link between brain size and playfulness in mammals. He said the more they play, the bigger the brain. See, we're all searching for the fountain of youth, but maybe it was in that water hose that we all drank out of as kids. So my question to you is, have you played today? Alan Watts said the real secret of life is to be completely engaged in what you're doing. And instead of calling it work, realize it's play. I mean, life without play is life without books, movies, learning. Life without play is no life at all, because play energizes us. Dr. Stuart Brown, author of Play, How It Shapes the Brain, Opens the Imagination, and Invigorates the Soul, he says that animals that play a lot, they learn how to navigate the world and adapt to it. In short, they're smarter. Remember this, focus follows fun. Focus follows fun. When we're not having fun, we are less productive and less creative. There's an old saying from a Chinese sage who says, when the archer shoots for no particular prize, he has all of his skills. When he shoots to win a brass buckle, he's already nervous. When he shoots for a gold prize, he goes blind. He sees 2 targets and he's out of his mind. His skill has not changed, but the prize divides him. He cares. He thinks more of winning than of shooting, and the need to win drains him of power. Our seriousness is draining us. When we relax, we're going to be a lot more effective. We're going to have more energy. I mean, who can live a life of total unexcitement? I'm going to say this. You need to be laughing at least 20 times a day. This is a non-negotiable, because good moods enhance ability. Because good moods will enhance your ability to think flexibly and make it easier for you to find solutions to any problem. Stanford University found that for the average person, 58 minutes out of every hour are spent in the past or the future. Did you hear what I just said? 58 out of 60 minutes are spent in the past or the future. We're never in the moment. We go to concerts and we focus more on the phone than on the stage. You bought the ticket, yeah, but did you really go? When we're at home, we're thinking about work. When we're at work, we're thinking about home. We're going 100 miles an hour down the road of life with our eyes firmly fixed on the rearview mirror. My advice, be here now. Did you know a chess player can burn up to 6,000 calories a day when playing in a tournament? They aren't moving, but the cognitive load is so much that they're burning immense amounts of energy. A calorie is a unit of energy. So I ask you, how much energy are you burning? Worrying, regretting, overthinking. In his book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, Robert Sapolsky speaks about zebras seeing a lion in 1 minute and being stressed out in the fight or flight. And then in the next minute, they are sipping a cool drink from a water hole, totally relaxed. They have this stress on, stress off effect, which is why the name of the book is the name of the book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. Now, humans today are constantly stress on, right? We don't turn off, which is why we see more disease in our species than any other. Our nervous systems are constantly overstimulated. Did you know the number 1 reason for ER visits is stress? We also look out in the world and we see an obesity epidemic, right? I mean, news reports speak of surges in oversized caskets. But the reason isn't because these people lack willpower. It's because I think the main reason is they're overstressed. And when you're in a fear state, your body, it wants to eat more because it is impossible to be stressed and eat at the same time. So overeating is a defense mechanism. So see, people who are overweight, it's not about what they are eating as much as it's about what's eating them. So we have to learn how to switch from our sympathetic to our parasympathetic nervous system. And we do that with relaxation techniques. Here are 2 powerful relaxation techniques that have changed my life. One is called Calm Mind, Calm Body. After doing it for 1 week, you will be able to bring your body into a state of relaxation on command. Step number 1, lay down or sit in a comfortable chair and imagine your body is made up of balloons. There are 2 valves on your feet. They open and the air escapes from your legs. And your legs, they collapse until they are empty and just lay limply on the bed. Then a valve opens in your chest and your whole body collapses limply against the bed or chair. Continue with your arms, neck, shoulders, and head. As the air escapes, envision your worries fizzing away with it. As the last of the air leaves your body, say to yourself over and over, calm body, calm mind. Do this day after day. The time it takes to start feeling relaxed will shorten. In 7 days, you will be able to feel relaxed on command. In 3 weeks, just by thinking about the command, you will create a lessening of tension physically and mentally. So doing this, you are setting up the ability to instantly relax anywhere at any time. And when you can perform in a relaxed state, you will be able to perform at a peak state. The next technique is the hum. If you want to relax instantly, use the humming bee breath. See, when a mother hums to their child, they calm down almost immediately. Monks, they chant Om to reach deeper states of consciousness. You see, this humming practice, it's a stress eraser. And this particular technique actually has been shown to raise nitric oxide levels up to 15 times. It improves concentration and it can even help you sleep. Now here's what you do. Do this about 5 to 10 times and let me know in the comments how you feel. Step number 1, put your thumbs in your ear cartilage like so and kind of close your ears off. Step number 2, put your index and ring finger over your eyes, closing them. Step number 3, allow your other fingers to rest on your face comfortably. Step number 4, with your mouth closed, hum as you exhale. Step number 5, focus on the sound of the humming. Step number 6, do this about 5 to 10 times and watch your stress disappear. Wow, that's powerful. Exercise is the number one thing you can do for your mitochondria. See, circulation is literally the name of the game. But you want to know the best form of exercise for energy? Well, it's the type of exercise you enjoy. Now, okay, that's the easy answer. Objectively speaking, there is a specific type of exercise that increases mitochondrial function better than anything else, and it is called Zone 2 training. Zone 2 is a heart rate zone, right? It's 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. So it's low intensity, right? Basically endurance. There are devices that you can use to track your heart rate to make sure you're in zone 2. But if you don't want to get an extra device, it's relatively simple to find out if you're in zone 2. You walk or cycle at a fast enough pace where you're doing work, but you can keep up a conversation. To get the most benefits for your mitochondrial health, dedicate about 45 minutes 2 to 3 times a week to Zone 2 training. Now, did you know there is a certain sport that can reduce your risk of dying by 47%? Is it swimming? Nope. Is it football or soccer? No, actually those were some of the worst. After studying 8,000 people over a period of 20 years, researchers found that racket sports can add nearly 10 years to your life. Now, it's likely due to the increase of VO2 max from the short interval bursts and the low injury risk and the social component. I guess that's good news for you pickleball players. Now, having said all that, I'm about to make a bold claim. Exercise is overrated. Did you know the first use of a treadmill was as a torture device? It's true. It was invented in England in the 19th century as a form of punishment for prisoners. And well, not much has changed. Our exercises today are kind of like punishment. And while sick people like me, we love it and get off on that, I must admit that exercise is vastly overrated. People who live in blue zones, the places where you live the longest, healthiest lives, they don't do CrossFit or deadlifts. They don't exercise. They have activity. They walk the hills in their neighborhood. They squat down in the gardens. But most importantly, they are moving throughout the day. I'm going to make a bold claim, but it's backed up by evidence. Constant movement is better than exercise. Now let's talk about hormesis. Hormesis is a fancy word for good stress. Exercise is a form of hormesis. And one form that I recommend to boost your energy levels is the sauna. Now, the infrared sauna specifically, it penetrates and activates the mitochondria a bit more than the dry sauna, but they both are incredible. I highly advise doing the sauna a few times per week, but please hydrate with electrolytes. Now, before I get into the last energy drainer, I want to ask you a question. When you work out and lose fat, where does the fat go? How does it leave the body? It's interesting, not too many people actually know. See, I've asked trainers and nutritionists, and they've never given me the correct answer. See, when I found this out, I was shocked. The way that fat leaves your body is through breath. So if you're not breathing properly, you will never reach your health goals. You can go months without food, weeks without water. How long can you go without breath? Breath, it contains your life force energy. All ancient societies, they knew this. The Hindus, they called it prana. The Chinese, they called it chi. The Japanese called it ki. The Egyptians called it ka, right? The problem with our modern society is we don't value breath, and we certainly don't know how to breathe correctly. When you're worried, stressed out, anxious, or inhale, exhale. The exhale is the most powerful part of the breath. A long exhale can bring you quickly out of fight or flight and into a calm and relaxed state. See, laughing feels so good to us because it forces us to exhale. You ever heard of a sigh of relief? See, the exhalation is so powerful. So remember this: when you're inhale, exhale. When people ask me, why am I low on energy, Prince? Why am I low on energy? I tell them the answer really is right under your nose. It's a deep breath. See, did you know that newborns breathe absolutely perfectly? They belly breathe until about the age of 10, when they have had their files corrupted in school and filled with anxiety, worries, and stress. And then their breath goes from the belly up to the chest. And then they start to chest breathe, to shallow breathe. And as we become adults, which is the worst thing you can be, we keep on with this shallow breathing, or we go through life constantly holding our breath, which puts us in fight or flight. One of the fastest ways to get out of that fight or flight is through the breath. The breath is the commander of the mind state and the mood. When you become upset, your breath does too. When you become anxious or sad, your breath does too. But when you breathe deeply, diaphragmatically from the belly, you create space and immediate presence. You send oxygen to your brain, resulting in your thinking becoming more clear. You send oxygen to the cells in your body, creating more energy. Maybe even as I'm saying this, you are starting to notice your breath slow down. Comment below if that's you. The cure is to begin to go back to the newborn and start to belly breathe mindfully. So here's how you do it. When you inhale from your nose, your stomach goes out. Touch your belly to make sure your stomach is going out. And when you exhale, your stomach goes in, all the way in. Let every drop of air out. This is how you properly breathe. Okay, now let's recap all of the energy drainers and their solutions. Number one is people, right? Energy is contagious. Don't catch an ETD. Hang out with rainbows, not drain bros. Number two, the chair. Sitting is the new smoking. The chair is the new cigarette. Work at your standing desk, or even better, start walking more. Number three, processed food. I want you to eat G-bombs. That's dark leafy greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, seeds, plus wild-caught fish, specifically wild-caught salmon. Number four, lack of purpose. Find your why, right? Find your why, you find your energy. Someone with a strong enough why can overcome any how. Number five, light. Stay away from junk light in the office and your screens, and try to get as much natural light as you can. Try to be outside just as much as you are inside. Number six, sleep. Sleep is the human charging station. It is the Swiss Army knife of health. Master your sleep and you will have the biggest impact on your energy. Number seven, seriousness. Listen, play is a non-negotiable. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Number eight, the constant stress, right? Take time to adopt relaxation techniques like the humming bee and the calm mind, calm body meditation every day. Number nine, exercise. Movement is medicine. Zone 2 training is the best for your mitochondria. Racket sports are the best for your longevity. Movement is the key though. Continuous movement throughout the day. Number 10, breathing. Breath is life. Practice diaphragmatically breathing to shut off the fight or flight response to release trapped energy in your body and re-energize your nervous system. That's it. If you do that, you will become energy rich. And if you're one of those people who want to take things to the next level, join my Superhuman Energy and Focus course. I will give you tips to 10x your focus, productivity, and energy in 21 days or less. Click the link in the description below, and I'll see you there. Peace.